I felt like it gave me more options to deal with the daily stresses of the job.
It's something that everyone honestly needs.
This is the first thing in my career that truly was for me.
POWER stands for Peace Officer Wellness, Empathy, and Resilience Training. I think there's a great deal of stigma. I think that folks really hit this career with a great deal of inspiration and optimism and very quickly find that the stressors of working with folks, often on the worst days of their lives, add up. It's a 3-month intensive intervention. The idea is to provide folks with resources to take care of themselves. These are science-based practices and strategies for optimizing physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health.
You know, we know from decades of research that people that go into this profession, on average, are giving up 20 to 22 years of their life. They're dying at the age of 58 or 60 of things like heart disease and stroke. This program is one way in which we can create these structures of belonging where people come into coherence with each other that makes them physically healthier, that makes their relationships better, and makes them better able to meet the community.
At the end of my shift, it doesn't all just go away. I have to pick back up and continue working that case, so it could become really easy to take everything home and my family would have to deal with that, or my friends would have to deal with that, and I would just have no sleep.
To kind of dive into that world of mindful living and what it is to kind of dial into what you're feeling on the inside and to kind of assess what you need to be working on with how you're feeling, just being more in tune with your mind and your body.
We focus a lot on breathing exercises, self-reflection, socialization, networking. There's many aspects to this. We also go into the science of food and what your daily intake of food is and how that's going to affect you during your workday. So there's a lot of different things that POWER offers on a lot of different fields.
My feeling is that we can't really address these really profound and important issues of not just the mental health crisis, but health and well-being generally, unless we include everyone. And law enforcement really needs a forum that feels safe, that feels culturally sensitive, in which to really work on these critical skills and resources. You have built those resources so that when they are face-to-face with the community, they can employ not just discernment, but compassion.
You don't walk away from seeing somebody's life being taken. That stays in your reel in your mind. How do you take care of yourself when those things happen?
To have a program that said, okay, we're going to take pause and we're going to focus on your health, your stress levels, your family, and how to deal with these things, I thought it was perfect timing.
I wasn't getting any sleep because my mind is like constantly just racing, like thinking of like 1,000 things. I don't do that anymore.
To be present, not to be rushing, to take things one day at a time, listen to your body, which I wasn't doing before, and I feel relaxed. I noticed a difference.
For me, I think it was the meditation and breathing, which kind of forces you to be present. The mindset of being present, for whatever reason, slowed the game down.
I didn't believe in stuff like that. I didn't really, honestly, I didn't. But when we did it in the classroom and I saw how it helped me personally, I was like, oh crap, there is something to this.
As police officers, you know, we're tough guys, tough girls. We see so much and we just push on through instead of dealing with that trauma, instead of dealing with that stress that we're very unaware of. So now I'm very aware of it, and I want to talk about these things.
I'm getting to the end of my career here, 25 years, and I'm getting this information. And if there was one thing I could change, it would be that I got this information in the academy, because it would have had a completely different, it would have had an impact on the trajectory of who I am in my career. We all go through very hard things. We deal with critical incidents and the stress, and you don't know what to do with that. And I've seen very good men and women, strong of character, that have succumbed to the pressure of that. And if they'd had this training, that might not have happened.
It shifted my brain and kind of took me to a very different place, where in our job, I think that we tend to have have contact with the negative things in life, and we deal with that day in and day out, and it really kind of takes a hold of us. And it's difficult to see the positive things in the world and in people. And I feel like that is the most important thing that's brought back to me, is humanity.
I needed it. I needed that circle. I was going through it tough, man. That was the worst year for me being on the job. You take it home and there's only so much you can put on your wife because you don't want her to have to deal with that stuff.
I found that my colleagues are dealing with the same things that I am.
I started, taking in all these ideas, and that was a huge help. I got to say that now that I feel like I have a sense of what this training can offer an individual and the impacts it could have on a group, I want my 20s back.
Yeah.
I do. I want my 20s back. I know individuals who don't make it through the first 5 years because of all kinds of reasons that had they implemented a lot of the things we learned, they probably would still be working as a police officer. I think this stuff could certainly help someone get through the first 5-10 years, which are usually the most vulnerable for a young man or woman, in law enforcement, because you're 22, 23, and they give you a gun and a badge, and they tell you to go save the world. And it's not until 7, 8, 9 years later that you really start to see it for what it is, and you realize that you're not Superman. When you first graduate the academy, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna fix everything, and then you wake up one day and you're the one that needs to be fixed because of all the things that police officers experience.
If I can't take care of myself, then I can't take care of my partner or the citizens out there.
I've lost a lot of friends to suicide, a lot of police officers, and I think if they would have had something where they could have been able to vent or talk about things or better express themselves, I think, things could have been different.
We all wish we had this earlier in our careers and stuff. It probably would have saved marriages and things and stuff like that. That normally the collateral damage of the job. You know what I mean?
And my hope too is that when you guys retire, you've then got another 30, 40 years of life that you enjoy your grandkids.
Yes.
Yeah. Rather than, the 3 to 5 years of life expectancy that a lot of police officers face.